Welcome to Strip Cover Lit. I'm Adrian Fort.
And I'm Dalton Gentry.
And we're here for this week's edition of I Don't Like Children.
Adrian reads Harry Potter.
Yes.
We're getting...
So, I would like to start with some things about Snape. What?
You will continue reading Harry Potter.
We're almost done with the book. We'll see.
Adrian.
What?
You will die a horrible death.
Yeah, probably a heart attack.
Adrian.
It's no secret. What?
People are going to realize you're not as tall as you pretend to be.
No.
It's going to happen.
No! Welcome to Strip Cover Lit. I'm Adrian Fort.
And I'm Dalton Gentry.
And I really hate children.
You do. You do. I'm surprised you haven't punched a child live on camera yet.
Who says that? Oh, live on camera. Okay.
We have to distinguish.
Right.
This is Adrian reads Harry Potter. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah.
Chapters 16, 17, and 18.
We're going to start off on another sour note after you get the chapters run down. But
Are you going to be pissy about it already?
I'm going to be pissy about it right off the bat.
That's just harsh. But let me at least give a rundown.
16,
what we read,
baby. What we got?
Because if you're not reading along with us, I'll let you know, but you should be reading along with us. Chapter 16, Professor Trelawney's prediction. Hermione is taking multiple classes at once. We saw her schedule. Nobody seems to know how she's doing it. And then Trelawney channels a very weird warning from the Dark Lord. His servant is coming. And the Ministry kills Buckbeak. So there you go. You got your wish.
Yeah.
Murder him. Chapter 17, Cat, Rat, and Dog. We enter the Shrieking Shack via the Whomping Willow. Sirius Black is an animagi, however you want to say it. He's the
Animagus.
dog. Animagus. Lupin is friends with Sirius Black. He shows up. We find out he's a werewolf, which I've been trying to milk you to say for weeks now.
Shut up.
And it turns out that Scabbers is Peter Pettigrew. Chapter 18, Moony, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs. We get more about werewolves, more about animagi, and then Snape shows up and intercepts the party and busts up the good times. Where would you like to start?
Give me 1 second. Talk about something before I interrupt you, because I have to take a note.
I would like to rant in just full glory. You come up with things that people usually don't come up with.
Yeah.
Some literary aspects to this, some good points to bring up. You've nailed it many times as to what's going to happen. You did not get that Lupin was a werewolf.
You missed some things. I mean, you can't bet 100%. However, with this video, I will let you know that I will be dissecting what Harry Potter is really all about. On a literature level, what this really is all an apology for.
Okay.
Yes. So carry on about me not seeing a goddamn werewolf coming. That's fine.
If you would look back at the previous weeks, the videos, discussions, ignore the comments, please. I have milked and milked and milked, hoping that you would bring up werewolf.
Ooh, look at me.
And no matter what I did, you wouldn't say it. So I'm so happy that I got one over on you.
Look at me. I've read the stories before.
J.K. Rowling got one over on you.
I saw
Admit
this
it,
coming.
You didn't see it coming.
No, I didn't see it. It's okay. I didn't look too deep into the name. Congratulations. I didn't look too deep into Harry either.
You didn't
Potter.
look into the name. Snape was teaching classes on werewolves.
So,
his boggart was a moon.
So obviously, the last name Potter.
Okay.
We're setting up Harry Potter much in the same way that that Shakespeare is in history, in that Shakespeare's father made gloves. Okay? So the Potter's family made pots.
Okay.
I'm just putting it out there. It doesn't fucking matter. I don't care about people's names. Yes.
Okay. All right.
All right. So, first thing I have is a quote from 326. Hermione, I don't know what's gotten into you lately, said Ron, astounded. First you hit Malfoy, then you walk out on Professor Trelawney. Hermione looked rather flattered. Rowling, I'm absolutely not fucking around. If Hermione becomes a weasel, we are fucking through, you and I. Okay? I'm just putting it out there.
I'd like to let you know, in the comments last week, you said something about Hermione becoming a weasel.
Yes.
You made someone lose their mind.
Really?
Laughing in hysterics because you referred to him as Ron Weasley.
Yeah, Ron Weasel.
So good for you.
Is that not his name?
No, but it's a valiant effort.
Weasley little bastard. All right, so quote on 31. Okay, 336, and this is what ultimately led to my observation of what Harry Potter's really all about. But going in order a little bit, I think it is necessary to bring it up now as well. Where does this tunnel come out? Hermione asked, breathing breathlessly from behind him. I don't know. It's marked on the Marauder's map, but Fred and George said no one's ever gotten into it. It goes off the edge of the map, but it looked like he was heading for Hogsmeade. This is a very powerful weapon, this map, right? Like,
yes.
That just illustrates how powerful it is, that there's people that still have no idea what's going on with it.
Correct.
This is the importance of the good guys having nukes. This is why we want to keep nukes away from North Korea.
Okay.
Right? This is a big deal as far as what this is about. This is also a literature moment. We talked recently about Lolita, right? Literature is very much like a weapon, in that if it falls into hands of people who have no idea how to use it, it can be very dangerous. If you read Lolita and you have no idea that you're supposed to be judging Humbert Humbert, if you're not intelligent enough to get there, you think that novel is endorsing child molestation, right?
Okay.
It is not. That is not what the art is doing.
Correct.
If you have the weapons and you don't have the moral compass to use them correctly, the world is a worse place. But the world is a better place with that literature. The world is a better place with those weapons, because those weapons can end the ultimate evil. Because that literature can show us within ourselves what ultimate evils are.
Okay.
Right? So for me, that is a very literature moment, bringing up something like the Marauder's map. If Voldemort, he who shall not be named,
Gasp.
had the Marauder's map,
Okay.
hell would break loose, yes?
I'd say yes, correct.
Shit would go down.
Yes.
I'm cursing a lot in this video. I should cut back a little bit.
We get used to it.
So you're a wrestling fan.
I'm a wrestling fan.
Yes.
Unfortunately, yes.
This took me back to my childhood. On 344, there's that moment where Lupin and Black embrace, right? And Harry and Ron Weasley and Hermione go, right?
The good guy and the bad guy
Right.
in the ring.
For me,
and they hug it out.
For me, this was Sting joining the NWO.
Oh, look at that.
There's all of one of you out there who got that. But
Professional wrestling, the great Canadian past.
But for me, that's what that was, and I thought the scene was well done.
Okay.
Right? You can it's sort of telestrated as it's coming,
Right.
but when it's there, you
It's
feel
well
the
written.
emotion behind it.
Okay. Now, if we can just take a side note here, you got a lot more quotes. You're saying things were well done. You're saying there's literary tools.
Right? The book is still shit.
Hold on. We've said this many times. Is Rowling becoming a better writer?
Yeah, I think so.
Good.
I raise hell, and things like that. But I think ultimately, yes. I mean, this is getting better. The series is being more well done.
Good. I feel better now.
Minus the cut and paste chapters.
It seems to be
They're necessary, I guess.
indicative of young adult literature. Is the recap.
Right.
Because again, like I said with this story, this was the first Harry Potter book I read.
Yes.
I didn't write this book. I just pulled it off the shelf. Everybody else was reading Harry Potter, so yes, that chapter was necessary for me. And I think a lot of young readers may have done the same thing.
Right.
Anyway.
Here's something I want to ask, and I want to ask you. I want your take on this.
Okay.
The werewolf thing.
Yes.
Is this analogous to homosexuality?
Could be.
You are seen as dangerous. You are seen as the way it's been set up. This turn is nearly seen as perverse, right? He's a werewolf. Who knows what he'll do to children?
Okay.
Right.
And that is something that was a huge argument in the 60s and 70s in education.
Right. And it wasn't supposed to be a teacher. Can't be a teacher, he's a werewolf.
Exactly.
Right.
So I think you could see that argument there, and it's even more coupled what you do at night.
Right.
Defines how you are as a teacher. And, the 60s and 70s, that was a huge argument. If you haven't seen the film with Sean Penn, Milk, the story of Harvey Milk.
Right.
Have you seen that?
I have not.
Beautiful film. Beautiful, beautiful film. We will review that if we ever get around to creating a film channel.
Yeah.
But no, that was a huge deal. And absolutely, again, fueled by just ignorance.
Right, absolutely.
But that's very similar to what this is.
And what happens in the end is Lupin comes through as a hero, right? I mean, he is the good guy here, isn't he?
He is the good guy here.
Black is supposedly the bad guy.
However, there is an element of this where, although Lupin is controlling his disease, is what it is still dangerous. It is not perceived as dangerous through ignorance. It is dangerous. Because once a full moon, he's going to become a flesh-ripping beast.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So the argument for, is it, an analogy towards homosexuality and, education in the early 60s? Possible. But from a literal standpoint, no. Once a month he will become a killing machine, and he cannot control himself. That is why, James Potter and Sirius utilized the Shrieking Shack, and why they became Animagi, to control that beast within him.
So, and I believed once this sprung up, that's where that was leading.
Okay.
Until I got to this quote on 355, where they're speaking about him being a werewolf.
Okay.
This was really dangerous, running around in the dark with a werewolf. What if you'd given others the slip and bitten somebody? A thought that still haunts me, Lupin said heavily. And there were near misses, many of them. We laughed about them afterwards. We were young, thoughtless, carried away with our own cleverness. What does that sound like?
Okay, so you're going to make an AIDS argument.
No.
Really? You're not going to push the homosexuality thing? Because that was the argument in the 60s with the HIV/AIDS epidemic and whatnot.
That was the 80s.
Well, the 80s, whatnot. But that was the, they were saying, homosexuality is bad.
Right.
Because these people are going to give HIV/AIDS to the general population.
Right.
So I was going to disagree with you there, so glad you didn't go there.
To me, that sounds very much like the struggle with alcoholism.
Okay.
I was driving drunk. I was a werewolf. There were many times when I almost ran someone over and killed them.
Okay.
We laughed about it at the time. My buddies came drinking with me because they knew I struggled with it. So I wonder if this werewolf metaphor is a metaphor for addiction.
I will agree with you more for the metaphor towards addiction rather than homosexuality with educators in the 60s. Addiction seems to be fitting because when you look at addiction for what it is, you do become a beast. When you're fueled by that booze.
And you are not able to control...
You are not able to control yourself, and you know this is something that it's going to happen again.
And what happens? He gets a support group here, doesn't he?
He does get a support group.
His buddies became his support group.
True, very true.
So I think that is something interesting to look into.
Okay.
Along those lines, where did we meet Lupin?
Where did we meet Lupin?
Where did we first meet Lupin?
We met him on the train to Hogwarts.
Why wasn't he driving?
Okay.
And here's a small question I have. I don't know if this is answered in this text or in the future, or if it's answered at all. Where was Lupin coming from?
Okay.
Is that answered?
No, it's not really answered. I don't think this spoils anything, but we are not done with Remus Lupin.
Okay.
He will return in different aspects, and wonderful character. Wonderful character. There's a lot going on.
Okay.
Just like, as I'm sure you know at this point, we're not done with Sirius Black.
No, I'm sure, yeah.
So,
so beyond that, the quote on 356, this is something that warmed my heart. Listen to the quote, and I'm not going to tell you who said it. You're going to know who said it, but tell me who it sounds like. It served him right, sneaking around trying to find out what we were up to, hoping to get us expelled. Who does that sound like? Who does it sound like that is about?
Sound like it's about Snape.
No, who does it sound like it's about? Who was having issues through most of this book? Telling on people. Trying to get people expelled. You could have gotten us expelled.
Hermione?
Yes.
Okay.
Hermione and Snape are the same person.
That's why you like both of them so much.
Yes.
Okay.
Not necessarily the snitch quality of them.
Okay.
But that comes out with this type of individual, doesn't it? Very hardworking, very industrious.
Okay.
Is that a literature moment where J.K. Rowling has set up for us to... Because this whole book, Ron and Harry were pissed off at Hermione
Yes.
because she kept getting them in trouble. Was that this book or was that a previous book?
It was this book.
Okay. It's all blending together. It's garbage. But is that a little wink to us as readers that this Snape guy and Hermione, they're kind of the same in their own generations?
Maybe certain aspects are similar. I'm not going to say they're the same, though. I have much more reverence towards one of them.
Okay.
I'm not going to say who, because we're going to get there. What do you think about the Ministry deciding to kill Buckbeak?
Okay, just one more
Yes,
thing
please.
on the Severus Snape bandwagon here. Something tells me that this bit about Snape being jealous of James' Quidditch talent, right?
Okay.
Everybody keeps saying, Severus hated James.
Yes.
I think it's because he was jealous of his Quidditch skills. I think it's because he was jealous of him as an athlete.
Okay.
Doesn't ring true to Snape. I think Snape had a thing for old Harry's mom,
Lily?
Lily.
You think so?
I think that's where the true beef is.
You think so?
I think that's where the true beef is. Snape loved Lily. Lily chose James. Then there's more beef, right?
Okay.
I think that's where that goes. I think that's where that comes from. Killing Buckbeak, sure, I don't care.
Oh, you were so excited last time. You're like, if they don't kill him, I'm done with this book. Well, they lobbed his head off.
Yeah.
You feel better?
I wanted to see it. I felt this book needed a little gore. No. I'm not sure. They went through with it. But I don't think we've felt the repercussions.
Okay.
Repercussions.
What about Professor Trelawney? Actually, turns out she is a bit of a mystic. She channels a warning that the Dark Lord servant will return. It's not just hokum.
Here's the thing. This is confirmation bias.
Okay.
If I tell you 300 things that might happen, and I hit one time.
Okay, so this is if you throw 1,000 darts, you'll hit a bullseye.
Right.
Okay.
And you'll remember the bullseye.
Yes.
That's confirmation bias.
Okay.
You're good at darts because you hit a bullseye.
So divination's still hokum even in the magic world.
Yes.
All right. So glad we cleared that up. That's really what we've had a lot going on here. Animagus, Animagi, whatever you want to call them. There was a lot talked about that. Not a huge deal. It is rare in the wizarding world. So I think it is, again, commendation towards Lupin's support group for being willing to go through such extensive work to support their friend. Good for them.
Yeah.
Scabbers is Peter Pettigrew. Surprise?
I knew there was something with one of them.
Okay.
I knew there was something.
You
with
thought
one
it was Crookshanks.
I did think
It was going to be
Crookshanks.
Cat, but turns out it's a rat.
Yeah.
But that seems to be the case. So what we're looking at here is the possibility that Sirius Black was framed. You said that. You said old Peter was the real bad guy. You said that. Lo and behold, he's a portly gentleman.
Yeah. Fat guy pops up. There's a villain.
He's the bad guy. Anything else you want to say on this one?
The big reveal of what Harry Potter is really about.
Okay. Lay it on me.
Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
Okay.
They're all baby boomers.
Okay.
The previous generation, Black and Lupin and Voldemort and the Potters. What's his name? Voldemort. No, not Voldemort. The guy who leads the Hobbits.
Gandalf?
Gandalf. No, what's his name in this one?
Dumbledore?
Dumbledore.
You've crossed so many references.
It's all the same thing. Dumbledore is Churchill.
Okay.
Voldemort is Hitler.
Okay.
So you've got people that pop up and make the bomb. You've got, for example, Turing. You've got Einstein. You've got all these people in here.
And this would be James Potter. This would be Sirius Black.
These are the people that made serious weapons like the Marauders map.
Okay.
Okay. So this whole thing of Harry Potter. Look, these kids are 13 here.
Yes.
Snape's and his generation, Snape and Lupin and whatnot, are in their 40s, 50s?
Yeah,
ish.
40s.
Okay. Where's anyone from 17 to 39? They don't exist.
Okay.
Right? So you've got people that fought in World War II and you got the baby boomers. No one in the middle exists. But these baby boomers suddenly inherit this magic world. Suddenly inherit this world where these big weapons that have been made by their previous generation are real. Okay. And they have to find a way to struggle, and like I said earlier, the good guys have to prevail and own the weapons.
And here's your answer for this. 13 years ago, Harry Potter defeated Voldemort. Before that, Voldemort had a reign of terror, where it is assumed a lot of people who would have been fighting in that battle were young witches and wizards, and they died doing it.
Okay.
Harry Potter is World War II.
Harry Potter is World War II. Harry Potter is the baby boomer struggle with inheriting the world.
Okay. I like it. I like it a lot.
I'm going to hopefully do a lot more with this, but honestly, no one watching BookTube cares about baby boomers. But for me, I mean, I think that's, look, when we talk about literature moments, and we've talked a lot about, this werewolf thing, is this a metaphor for homosexuality? Is it a metaphor for addiction? Those are things that J.K. Rowling might have put in the text. So they can be literary, but it is difficult to see them as the true literature of the Harry Potter series. But this, to me, that this is a metaphor for the baby boomers struggling with suddenly inheriting the earth and having to figure out how to control all these weapons, how to make sure the bad guys don't come back, how to do this, how to deal with freedom of speech, how to deal with bad guys that are bad but don't murder, right? How do you deal with all these things that all of a sudden this post-World War II world is coming at this younger generation in mass?
Okay.
Right? I am not naive enough to believe that these things did not exist prior to World War II. But all of a sudden, after World War II, you've got this young generation running the world.
This is true.
Right?
I like it a lot. Now, we have talked a little bit.
And Stephen Fry could very definitely play Winston Churchill.
And Dumbledore?
And Gandalf.
Okay. Now, we've talked a lot. I did take a class on Harry Potter. It was a grad level class. If you've watched these videos, every now and then we do a little shout out dedicating this video series in memoriam to Patricia Greenway. She was one of our professors who taught this class. Adrian did not take it. He was fervently against it, but she was a professor who meant a lot to us.
Yes.
She passed away very recently. I have promised to dig out my old papers from this class, and hopefully we're going to spark a little good old Don conversation. That's a hell of a academic paper right there. That World War II is Harry Potter.
Was it anywhere in this class?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. It blew my final paper out of the water, you dick, you asshole.
You didn't write your final paper at 31 years old. So.
No, I didn't. So, no. I like it. So hopefully we're going to try to get a little more academic approach. I'm not sure what I still have, if I have anything. I know I do, though. So we'll dig it up, and we'll dig a little more deeper into this.
Surely on a thumb drive somewhere.
I'm sure I have something somewhere. Okay. I have my final paper, but nobody wants to read that anyway.
No, but read it and refresh yourself. So
I will refresh myself right now and say this for people who have read all the books. Snape, Voldemort, and Harry Potter are the three brothers, and they are represented by the Deathly Hallows. Anyway.
I don't know what that means.
That's why I said it.
Okay.
So we will be back next week with more Adrian Reads Harry Potter. Chapters 19, 20, and 21.
19, 20. Hopefully there's something else there that I can ruin for you.
And the week after that, I believe we're going to do the final chapter 22 and a full breakdown.
Right.
Let's talk about this. Give us just a hair of a break on Harry Potter. Those breakdowns are a good thing. That full recap where we talk about everything as one, I like to dedicate a little time to that.
Yeah.
So not trying to fit all 3 chapters in with a breakdown. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So if you want to follow us through this journey, make sure you hit that subscribe button. etc., etc.
Be sure to give this video a like if you did like it. If you didn't like it and you touch that dislike button, I will find you. Find us on Twitter @StripCover and on Facebook @StripCoverLit.